episode 20 of the Morning Glory podcast. Thank you, everybody, for being here for this special episode of the Morning Glory podcast. If it's your first time here on Patreon, thank you so much for becoming a Patreon member. This is going to be a fun episode. And today I want to do something special for you guys where yesterday I pre-recorded an interview for you guys. And just like we did with Urban on the last podcast, I'm still trying to figure things out when it comes to playing stuff on this thing. So I would like to do something different for you guys. And if you guys haven't seen this interview yet with Drailed, it was a lot of fun. I would love for you guys to sit through this and just enjoy the time of him being here on this podcast, because I want to thank him as a Patreon member for being part of my Patreon family. And I'm going to give my thoughts after the interview is over. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to present you with my interview I had with the Gatekeeper Drew from Drailed podcast. Enjoy. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Coop here for another episode of the Morning Glory podcast. And today we have another special guest with us, another co-host and a fellow Patreon family member of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present you Drailed, Gatekeeper Drew. What's going on, my man?
How's it going, Coop? Well, now we can officially say, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's a force of habit sometimes.
For those of you out there that didn't know, or obviously wouldn't know, about 5 seconds before he hit the live button, he's like, "All right, are we ready, ladies and gentlemen?" I'm like, "What?"
This is when you know that I'm too play of a human being. Did I tell you? Have you heard the story where I was recently at a bus, and somebody dropped their newspaper, and I picked up their newspaper for them, and I gave it to them. I said sorry to them. Oh. See, that's just a force of habit for me. It's just I didn't do anything. I just for some reason said sorry.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's me, ladies and gentlemen, and I say that too many times. How you doing tonight, Drew?
Well, I think the children are out of the house. I haven't heard as many of these in the last few minutes, but I guess today is Margarita Day. So we had tacos, and other than myself, everyone was drinking margaritas and shit.
Even the kids are having margaritas?
Oh, no, not the kids. We could have squeezed the lime and told them to have at it.
What are those really good smoothies or daiquiris that you get that they're non-alcoholic or something like that at the bar? I can't remember. They're like strawberry flavored or something like that.
Shirley Temple.
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
my daughter loves those.
Yeah.
So a funny story with that. My wife and I, probably good 6-7 years ago, my in-laws had a hot tub on their back deck, and it was probably 10 degrees outside, which they say you never, you don't get into that where you're in the hot and the cold. But we got into this hot tub probably 11 o'clock at night. Her parents were out at some bars or whatever, some party. And we were like, we'd had a Shirley Temple somewhere. And we're like, that's pretty cool. I wonder how we could spike that. So we worked for a liquor company. We had this vodka called Effin' Black Cherry.
Effin' Black Cherry.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So we made our own Shirley Temples with that. We called them Shirley MacLaines because they were the grown-up Shirley.
Nice.
And let me put it this way. When you're drinking black cherry vodka for 5 hours in a hot tub, I've already fucked up the story, but when you're let me rewind just a little bit here. Ignore that I said 5 hours. When you've been sitting in a hot tub for an hour drinking black cherry, you get in 11 o'clock at night, and then her in-laws come back at 4 a.m. and you realize the hour was actually 5 hours. That's how I should have said it.
Wow.
That's when you know that sitting in a hot tub getting drunk kills time.
That's amazing that you lasted 5 hours. I can barely last 10 minutes in the hot tub when I went to the gym right now.
We thought it was an hour. That's what I'm saying.
You look at your hands all pruny, like, we can go another 4 hours or something.
They had a radio in there, and I don't know. We probably pissed a couple times, I guess. I mean, no one got out.
Was the radio in the hot tub?
It was like on the side. It was built in the wall of it,
Oh, that's
and
too
so you kind of had to
fancy.
reach over and mess with it that way. Especially when it's 10 degrees outside, you're not letting any more body parts out than you have to. That might have been half the problem. Is no one wanted to get out.
Was it how old was it? The radio, was it like an old school one, or was it like a touchscreen one, the high tech or anything?
It kind of looks like a car stereo. Really,
That's what I was thinking in my head. It was like the old school beanbox things, or bootbox things.
Yeah, it looked like I don't think it was a dial. It actually had a digital readout, and you turn the dial to hit the station. But it looked like a car stereo built into a hot tub, basically.
Do you still have any of those old school stereo boom boxes around the house? Or I have a tape recorder that I still have from when I was a kid, a yellow one.
We might have one that we actually picked up at a garage sale for a couple bucks for the kid,
Nice.
But yeah, I could tell you about the ones I used to have, and one of them I know it shot crap, so I found a good empty spot in the trash can and just to see, like that scene from Office Space where they fuck up the fax machine because they're fucking tired of it. We did that actually. I used to work at Sonic, and we had a fax machine. It literally said TPS load letter or whatever that fucking thing. It said literally the exact same thing.
Nice.
And my friend that worked there, also, we were both managers. He said, "Come here, Drew. Come here. Look at this." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "TPS load letter. What the fuck's that mean?" just like Michael Bolton did in the movie. And then that thing shot craps about a month later, and we were told to throw it out. And he kind of stashed it in the back room until him and I were both working together. And we went back into the dumpster, and we had fun with that fax machine. Office style.
I got to do something like that too. We actually I was in broadcasting class, and we had to remake that scene. So we got to find so for broadcasting class we had to fake everything up and pretend it was the scene, and we they got to smash the fax machine and that. I only got to videotape it, so I just got to enjoy watching it.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was fun. That's why I wanted to ask you, though. How did you start getting into podcasting and that? Are you pretty new with this?
Well, I'll rewind quite a bit back. I went to college for communications, actually. So this is exactly what I wanted to do, was some form of radio. I mean, obviously it's evolved since 20 years ago when I was looking at what career path, back then it was radio or TV. I mean, what we're doing here just was non-existent. So I was like, I wanted to be the next Casey Kasem, to be just completely honest with you. And then when Ryan Seacrest got the gig, I had like this vendetta against him for the rest of my life, but seriously,
by the way, RIP, man, RIP, because I think one of them has passed away, right?
Oh, who? Casey Kasem?
Yeah, I think one of them played Scooby-Doo, right? Yeah. Oh no, it was Shaggy, right?
Yeah, and that was what, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, something like that. But yeah, so it was right before WrestleMania last year, actually, that I got into watching JoeCronin. And I should correct myself. It was a certain Mustang lover that I got into first that led me to Mr. Cronin.
Nice. Oh,
and so, fast forward another year, it's coming up on my birthday in March. And it just kind of, I think my wife kind of knew, or I never really asked for it, but I just opened up all these boxes, and it was these headphones, this microphone, the stand. And I'm like, well, I guess we're doing ourselves a little podcast. And so I bought the other equipment, the cameras and stuff. And, I just reached out to 13 of my closest friends on here that we'd already done Saturday night Skype parties, basically, where we just hung out and bullshit anyways. And for months, I had been saying, we really someone needs to put this on air, or at least record it, because our conversations were too good, especially for drunken banter, Not that all of us were drunk, but a lot of us were. And I mean, we would listen to the Corrupted podcast kind of in the background because I think all of us are Patreons anyways of Joe's.
Yeah.
And even if we weren't listening to it and we were listening to it later, we just had our own conversation. And so the time slot worked perfectly for us. And, next thing you know, I get all this equipment, and in March, Derailed was born.
Nice. Because your style, I used to do like periscoping a lot when it first came out. Do you know much about the app at all?
I'm familiar with it. I've got it on my phone, but I've never broadcast from it.
When it first came out, I was like one of the first Canadians to actually like start broadcasting with that app.
Oh, really? They have a statistic on that?
Yeah, because
do.
I mean, in March, when like 3 years ago when it first came out, I started like there's the global setting, and basically nobody in Canada was periscoping at the time except for me. And then from there on, I met a bunch of online friends just like you guys, and then we started to do drinking Skyping calls together. So we would play high or low with the card game. Ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably the most easiest game that you can get shit-faced off of.
Right. Or Circle of Death.
Yeah, Circle of Death. We also had that on Periscope too. It was my friend at the time. He called it the Wheel of Death because all it was just shots and shots and shots. And
that'd be an interesting one. The thing is, not all of us drink during that show. We still take it seriously, even if we are drinking. I mean, there's a little bit of craziness and a little bit of seriousness all in one. I'll be honest, from episode 1 to what's going to be episode 21 this coming weekend, it has evolved so much. Because the first night, I didn't know what the fuck we were doing. I had a couple topics, and I'm like, I'm just going to hit the button and we're going to have our Skype call like usual. And hopefully it sounds good. I'm just going to throw a little bit of music and we're going to be sharing it with people online. And yeah, I mean, other than some technical issues at the very beginning, it was just, I don't know. I guess I'd have to go back and watch it. I kind of watched little snippets of it, and it was just a bunch of us bullshitting, but now it's more organized. Like we're doing topless now, and we had been doing Cards Against Humanity. We haven't done that for a while, but it feels more podcasty than just a Skype hangout. Now, I don't know. Someone who'd been watching Stay One would have to tell me if it's literally evolved like that or not. But
I've seen it evolve because I know that you want to be more organized with the shows that you've been doing recently, with the top 100 shows that you've wanted to do. What is your favorite one that you've done so far when it comes to topics?
Well,
there's a lot of them. I definitely like the gaming one, and the wrestling one. That was the recent one you did, right?
Yeah, and we only got halfway through it, so we've still got to finish it. Yeah, it got to be about 2 a.m. my time, and I try and be done around 3, which means we actually wrap up around 4. But we got to about 2 o'clock and we just hit number 50, and I'm like, we're not even going to try the final 50 tonight. My favorite though, although I am enjoying the top lists, my favorite episode or topic, probably the WrestleMania one. It also qualifies as my most views. So go back and watch that last hour of that show. The show was 6.5 hours long, and I was drinking.
Yeah, I've been on there a couple of times, and I thank you for having me on. The first time I was pretty quiet, because that's how sometimes I usually am when I just have stuff I just talk.
Well, and that goes to the organization part of it, because when you first came on, it was still kind of a crapshoot where I'm just like, everybody talk, just talk. And, I did very little to control the conversation because the whole concept is it's derailed. The whole shit is a clusterfuck, but in a good way, and the fact that we all knew each other prior to this and had these Skype calls prior to this, we knew how to talk with each other without talking over as much. Because you listen to other shows on YouTube and you get 13 people on a call, there's just no control. It's madness and everything. But I feel like we have this sense of knowing each other, knowing how to control and allow each other time. And thank God for Gina. I don't know if she's still watching or if she followed us over to this one here, but if I'm too drunk or not capable for whatever reason to keep it in line, Gina will. Everyone listens to Gina.
Yeah, you have a great crew over there going on right now, so I'm pretty happy with what I've seen so far from you guys. What do you want to like improve the show somehow with like upgrading more systems for your equipment and that? Or
I think the next thing on my list is the microphone. Even though I mean, it's a good microphone, I want something that's just going to pick it up a little better. So
I'm with you on that. Mine's broken right now. My studio could use an upgrade right now.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with this at all. It's Audio Technica 2100. We were actually talking about it with Joe last night on that Patreon stream he did.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about microphones, and the one that Joe has is what I'd like to get next, because he just comes through so crystal clear. And again, not that I don't on this, but I can hear the difference, and I'm such a perfectionist about things that it drives me nuts when I'm listening back to stream and I can hear a little bit of a or whatever, with the microphone.
Me, I'm completely opposite. I've been kind of like just keeping this off to the side and focusing on my comedy. And then now people have been asking me for more content. I'm like, all right, whatever. So it's kind of me. It's like I'm just all right. If you guys ask me stuff, I'm like, whatever. I'll give it a try and see how it works. But the problem is I have shitty equipment. Like, look at this webcam right now, and I'm like in slow motion, but in low quality. Nobody wants to see slow motion and low quality. but I don't want to see Jackie Chan if he was all pixelated. That would be terrible. But yeah, terrible joke by me. Okay, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. It's man, there's tons of things I wanted to ask you because your podcasting skills. You do sound very similar to Joe. First of all, I want to mention that to you on my podcast. Have you noticed that you and Joe sound similar?
I don't so much. I've had a few different people tell me that though, and I'm just like, okay, thank you. I don't aim to sound like him, although I know there are probably people out there who'll be like, he's even using his voice to copy Joe.
No, absolutely. I think you should pull a Mello and do an impression of him. All you need is a baseball cap that is missing the thing at the empty part, and just turn it backwards, and then the necklace. That's all you need.
But what is something that Joe commonly says? You see, he doesn't really have a quote, really. Monetize this. Monetize this.
He swears a lot. He's like, hey, fuck. There you go. Well, that's kind of Ken's
grunt stick. Isn't that his new curse word that people want to know is a curse word?
That is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Is I've noticed that there's this growing popularity with vulgar words, especially with aka the C word, obviously. Mm-hmm. What is your thoughts on that word now being tossed around? Because comedians are even doing it on stage nonstop now in Vancouver.
I've actually heard you talk about that. Like, I hate that fucking word. They throw it around everywhere.
It's like this is a growing thing, but is this something that maybe should be like starting to get used to? Maybe.
Definitely, because when I was growing up, my mother hated that word, and I was raised as it was the one word above the F word, and you just didn't use it, you didn't hear it. And I'm talking like the 90s were fucking Leave It to Beaver or something, but you just didn't hear that word in the 90s, and if you did, you knew business was about to pick up. And today it just, I'll be honest, it wasn't until I started getting into YouTube and watching Joe and Ken, shout out to the Foul Mouse Network, but I didn't even hear the word that much until listening to different shows that we all listen to, and I was just like, wow. And to this point now, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I throw it around. My wife's even like, what the fuck is with you in this word?
And of course, it's like living in a bad neighborhood. You kind of just adapt to it.
Well, of course, I like to take the Filthy Mouth Gamers challenge whenever I can and yell it at weird locations and that too. So
you've been hustling. You're in everybody's show, and you're trying to participate in anything possible. I saw you in the parking lot, even doing the empty or emptying beers. Now, what was that about? Wait, that's a waste of alcohol.
Okay. So first of all, the whole story behind that is on Twitter, Joe actually asked the night of Monetize This for people to go out into public and dump beers out. I don't know if you saw that too.
First of all.
And he said, do that and then look at someone and say, yes, this is happening. What are you going to do about it? And I'm like, well, I can do that because here's the funny story. My birthday party was the next day, and I was cleaning an old cooler that still had beers in it from forever ago. So they were wasted anyways. Some of them had exploded in that, and these were the best looking ones out of it. I'm like, well, I little kayfabe here, but or breaking kayfabe, but those were the cleanest beers that looked like they were still drinkable. In reality, those things were like a year old and fucking trash, you know.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, well, I'll know it's not as much of a party foul as it really is because I'd be dumping these out anyways and throwing them in the trash, you know. So what can I do with this? Well, we were going to Kids Bop that night. Which, you familiar with that?
No, actually, I've never heard. That sounds like something at like a little nightclub for children.
No, it's a concert tour. Actually, they started CD kind of like now. That's what I call music, but
it's a band.
Kind of. It's a bunch of kids. They get together and sing pop hits that everyone knows, and then the idea is that you buy it for your 4-year-old. And they love it because it's kids their age singing pop hits that their parents like. And it became kind of a fad over the last 15 years or so. But apparently they're on tour now because I just went to the fucking concert Friday night. And I should have brought bleach with me to drink. But that's neither here nor there.
Those concerts, I used to work at where the Ottawa Senators played for 3 years. And those kind of concerts showed up there.
Yeah.
Now, as a parent, what do you do to stall the time?
I got up a couple times looking for a hot dog, and I passed the hot dog stand like 6 times.
Nice. So basically, it's like I'm gonna go for a hot dog, but I know where it is, but I'm not coming back.
Right. I mean, not yes, and no. I mean, I honestly was indecisive about my food, but I was allowing myself to be indecisive, I guess.
Yeah, you should have just kept bringing a food to your seat and be like, something's wrong with this. I'm going to bring it back.
What's funny is I did actually, speaking of the cunt challenge, I actually did lean up against a pillar and was filming the stage and all the crowd and everything in front of me. And I went, cunt. but on the phone, and I'll send it to you. You can see it, but it sounds like I'm whispering it because everything is so loud around me. But I literally did yell, and I sent that to. It was actually he's gonna kill me for shouting him out, but Sir Cardinal.
Nice. Sir Cardinal.
He saw it and he goes, didn't sound like you were very loud. And I said, dude, I yelled my guts out. And he goes, well, no one looked at you. Like, damn it. Well, no one's going to believe this now. Thanks a lot. Shout out to Sir Cardinal anyways.
Yeah, man.
I love that dude.
Yeah, shout out to this is a really tight family. So with all the shows, because I know you go and support as many shows as possible. What is your like schedule now for these shows, and who shows are you popping the most besides from Joe's and Ken's?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, there's Canadian Basement. I know he runs his gaming channel. Tattoo Mistress, they do their and JP Baker, they do their wrestling shows. But what other shows do you pop into?
Like actually on air with them, or just watching? You mean?
Any? Yeah, any. Because
I travel a lot for work, so I don't catch everything live, but I catch just about anything that would be relevant to myself within the community. If we can,
you have my dream job. You're traveling right now. I wish I could be traveling to do comedy, but I'm in a traveling crisis right now with Greyhound.
Oh wow, yeah. See, I'm actually home this week. I mean, so I get the privilege of having the studio and everything all week. Where when I'm on the road, it's just my cell phone and these earbuds, which actually pick up sound pretty well. Pick a pretty decent mic, but yeah. So like this week, it's a little harder to catch shows because I'm not traveling as much. It's more local travel. So if I don't catch it live, I really don't catch it unless I catch it later or something, you know.
Yeah.
But when I'm traveling, when I'm on the road, when I'm in hotels, I pretty much watch everything live and then have nothing to watch the next day because I've watched it all. But I've always got something to watch. Trust me. Last week I was on the road quite a bit. I actually had to drive to Memphis and back, and I went back and I listened to some of the original Insomniac episodes from the Mouse Network. Some of the ones from a little over a year ago, and just kind of relive those. And a lot of stuff. You ought to go back and watch a show that you listened to a year ago. You'll realize you either missed or forgot so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually did the same thing with my stand-up with you. I sent you my original set, and I've came a long way from my first set. Now I've done 40 sets. My first set was bad, and my 40th set was bad. So,
well, there were good ones in the middle. So it all balances out.
Yeah, that's the good part. Is like I'm still learning about how to actually talk with people when I'm out there in front of audiences.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because what I was taught to in comedy class is to just do a 5-minute tight set, and then I haven't really learned how to actually go green and talk with the audience when they heckle me or something like that. I'm trying to get used to it, and maybe this is going to help me along the way. Hopefully, it will be a bad comedian to an average comedian. Hopefully.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not much of a person to speak. I'm, when I'm at a party or something, I'm the person that kind of sticks to the corner and fucks around on my phone,
Yeah. That's what you do. Social media branding.
You want to know it. You want to know it when you see me on YouTube. I mean, now if I'm on a big call, like say I call into the Foul Mouse Network and there's 8 of us there, yeah, I'll probably take the back seat. But it's not because I don't feel like talking. It's just I hate talking over other people.
Yeah.
Even on Derailed, I'll read number 49. Well, number 49 is Vince Lombardi or whatever. And Vince, he should be higher than that. And then I'll just let people go off until they start to run out of air, and then I'll be like, okay, well, number 48 is Jerry Jones, or I don't know why I'm naming fucking NFL owners.
You did that the other night. You guys were doing that in the chat room the other night. You were just naming football players.
Oh no. So do you realize what we were doing and why we were doing it?
No, but it was just funny, and I just joined along with a couple of names.
So we're going to do another shout out here, and that's to Heistman Defoe, if you've seen him in any of the chats before. And he's got this funny thing where it's like, let's name a bunch of black whoever. And one night it was black actors, another night it was black comedians, and so on and so forth. And the one you're talking about, I remember it was black wide receivers. It wasn't just football players. We were naming exclusively wide receivers.
Okay, yeah, I said a couple of them.
Yeah, but you're like, I don't know what the hell we're doing, but I know they're black and they're wide receivers, so I guess I'll just kind of play along.
But that's what and then people just started naming players that
like the whole chat. I mean, Ken's off talking about whatever his topic was, and here we are, Andre Rison, Marvin Harrison, and I'm sure Ken looked in the chat at some point and went, what the fuck are they doing now?
It was funny as hell.
But,
if we start donating and doing that, just donating.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that next time. Next time Heistman Defoe has us do. I hope he sees this. Actually, I hope he doesn't, and at least until I do this.
Heistman, this free clip is for you on YouTube.
But, like the next time and maybe I'll even bait him into doing it. I'll be like, how about black whatever, and we'll start naming them, and then I'll just donate, and I'll be like, Martin Luther King. And he will lose his shit in chat. He will lose his ever-loving mind. That is such a great idea. And the funny thing is, Ken will be like, what? What does he have to do with,
I'll just start doing. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So if Ken watches this, it's the surprise is already spoiled. But
oh my gosh, I've got tears in my eyes. That's hilarious.
I've got tears coming from my forehead. That's oh, it's coming out both ways. But hey, are we almost done with this podcast here? Because I think it's over half an hour. I think we've been doing this, right?
Is it really? Oh, we're right on the. Yeah, we're right on the.
Yeah. Holy crap! Hey, do you want to keep coming back on here for more stuff in the future, like once a week or anything, or it's totally up to you when you want to jump on and have fun doing this?
Yeah, let's just let's talk about it, work out times, and see what works for us. I can't guarantee weekly, but we'll just kind of see how things fly.
I have a guests that are lined up right now. I'm trying to get a couple of comedians. One's from Saturday Night Live. He's a writer on there.
Oh, really?
His name's Steve Castillo. So we're gonna try him, get him on Patreon for an episode.
Wow.
Another one is my buddy Angelo Sarukis. He's a very famous comedian, and he was on what's that? Last Comic Standing.
Did you say famous Canadian or famous comedian?
I think I said famous comedian, and then Canadian came in the middle at the same time.
I'm like, wait, it sounded like you said a hybrid word there.
Just made a word. That's kind of my vocabulary sometimes.
A Canadian.
Yeah.
How would you say that? A Canadian comedian would be a Canadian.
I'll review the tape and then send it off to the dictionary to see if it can get published. I can get royalties.
check subtitles to see if it actually registered the word.
Did you happen to see that watermelon chopping at all?
Like Gallagher, or what?
No, there was a Guinness World Record guy that we got a video, and all he would do, he would set a world record for chopping the most watermelons on his stomach.
Wow. Remind me to not let him around the next time I'm masturbating.
Yeah. So all this guy did was just take a samurai sword and chop a watermelon on his stomach 26 times. And that's a world record now.
Interesting. I feel like I saw something in my sub feed with watermelon or something in it. So it must have been, you said you posted that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably what I saw. I just hadn't made it to it yet. Day to day.
Yeah, it's go check out the video clip because you'll be in awe when you realize how stupid this is. And I think that's oh my god, there's a topic for you right there. The top 100 worst Guinness World Records or something.
I have to look into that.
And you can just show videos of how stupid people are attempting them.
I was a big Guinness World Records nerd as a kid. Like that was the only thing I'd ever rent out of the library at school. And I just sit in class and read it.
Did you ever try to attempt to break a world record?
No. I mean, not to the point where I actually called Guinness or anything. I mean, there were some that I looked at and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could. And maybe it was Joe Blow stacked 27 glasses on top of each other or whatever, cups. So I'd get up to about 5 and then fall and I'd be like, yeah, he's got me fucking beat.
I was in a phase in college where I was kind of going into my beginner of being a bad comedian. And so I decided I wanted to get a world record. So I wonder what it was like changing your name legally and how much would it be? So I wanted to try and break a world record for having the most middle names in the Guinness World. So
it's doable.
I had the papers and everything. I got the papers and everything set up and everything, and I wanted to go through with it. So the name I chose was Cooper James Quagmire Fonzie Bierman Harrison.
Is that enough? Is that enough to break the record?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I think Elizabeth Taylor has more names than that, or had.
I think there's somebody out there, actually a football player that just got drafted this year. Did you see that guy that had a really long name in the draft this year?
Not this year. No, I can name you some really long names and actually pronounce them though.
Yeah, there was a name. I'll have to send you the thing, but he had a really long ass name that nobody can pronounce. But I think somebody has the longest middle names with a bunch of superhero names, like Family Guy, where it just named.
Oh yeah. do you remember a football player called Chris Fuamatu Matafala?
No.
He it was probably around 2005 because it was on NFL 2K5 that I remember hearing this player, and I remembered the way I memorized his name. First of all, I heard his name in the video game a lot because they had like a laugh or an outtakes of the commentators built into the game. The
Really?
commentators, fucking things up, and one of them was them trying to say his name. And the guy's like, Chris Fumata fuck. And so the way I remembered his last name, it's Chris Fuamatu Matafala. And the way I taught myself was Chris Fuamatu Matafaka.
Nice.
And I translated that back to his actual name. And so, yeah, that's the longest name I know. I think he was like Samoan or Hawaiian or something like that.
Yeah, it's similar with the guy that was drafted this year. I'll have to find out what that guy's name is.
Is it one where it's like starts like in the lower rib cage and like builds an arch around the back and around? I've seen a couple of those.
Oh man,
you remember Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco?
He's wasn't he playing in the CFL for quite some time? I think.
Is he still playing?
No, he's in the flag football thing now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in that recent flag football thing that happened.
Well, you were talking about changing names. Well, obviously, he was born Chad Johnson. Yeah. And then he changed it to Ocho Cinco for publicity, and that was his number, and, just put attention on him, probably helped to make a few more bucks in his salary. I don't know. But he went to change his name back to Chad Johnson. And the judge, if I remember the story right, the judge told him, whatever you pick is what you're staying with, and I'm not going to allow you to change it again.
Oh,
because this is absurd.
Oh my God.
I can't remember what he did. He may have stuck with Ocho Cinco, but I remember reading a story where he went before some judge to make publicity with your name every year.
Wow, that's a tough judge, man. Hey, I got a question for you. Do you do a lot of fantasy football as well?
I used to. It's been I'm a few years removed from it. I actually here. Let me do this.
Oh my God, see, I already fucked this up too. I accidentally pushed the fucking button and I accidentally fucking translated. Oh my God. I am such a bad host sometimes. Oh my God. Oh, I was trying to get ready to transition and I pushed the button too early. Oh man. My apologies, Derailed. Ugh, oops. Fuck. As a host, I was trying to get prepared and I accidentally went. Oh my God. It was a great interview. If you guys want to check it out, it's available on my Patreon page. Oh my God. If I go back to it, I'm not sure would it still be there? No, it would be a different thing. Fuck. I fucking muffed it up. He has a fucking trophy. He was talking about fantasy football. We were getting into the good. And he has this fucking trophy that was sitting in the fucking corner. And if you guys want to hear his story, I'll post like a special clip of it online or something like that. Maybe I'll post like a free clip of it so Gatekeeper gets to show off his trophy or something. Sorry about that, Gatekeeper. Fuck. Me trying to be with my fucking OCD. Me trying to rhyme. Like, I fucking going back in time. I don't know. I'm fucking terrible. Oh my God. Derailed is actually in here right now in the chat room. And yeah, it was a great interview. If you guys want to check it, go check it out, man. Yeah, the full thing is available online. And that is what I need to get used to when I do the interviews, is because I try and keep shows less than 20 minutes to half an hour long. But sometimes you have so much fun talking that you just want to keep going. That was my fault. I just like I fucking just like talking to Drew about shit. He's a fun host. He's a fun guy to talk to as a co-host. I know Ray was in the chat room. I know he was watching live. Shout out to my boy Ray. Yeah, so that was a great interview with Drailed and Gatekeeper Drew. If you guys want to check out his show, it's available. He does multiple shows. Crap. He didn't even get his plugs in. God damn it. Man, that makes me an absolute horrible host. You gotta check him out on Saturday evenings on his YouTube channel. I'll make sure that it's in the bio in the comments below. Wow, my computer is going really slow. Okay, that video, I do apologize as well for the people watching for some of it. Some of it was skipping through the interview as well. That might have to do with how shitty my computer is slowing right now. I found the butt plug, so oh my god. And you gotta make sure you check him out on his Twitter account, which I believe is Gatekeeper 50 something. I forget the last two numbers. It's right here. Hold on, my computer is loading. It's 5 something. Oh my god, my computer is slow. I fucking hate it. Oh god. All right. What's the Twitter handle? Come on, you piece of shit. It's Gatekeeper 5150. Oh, okay, I did try to remember. I did memorize it. Maybe that's why. Oh, I'm just fucking retarded. As you can see, my hosting skills are not the greatest. But today, this is my protein shake, by the way. While the interview was going on, oh hey, I hardwired to the internet last night and forgot to shut off the Wi-Fi, so it could have been me. Oh. With the skip around, I'm an idiot. No, I think it was my thing while I was playing a video on OBS here. So, no, I think if you go back and listen to the full thing, it was great. What I'd like to do is go back. Today I'm going to Vancouver to do a set. And that means a lot of traveling. So, after this, I'm having my protein shake. I'm going to go to the gym, do my workout for about 2-3 hours, and I got to catch a bus. Take two 3 transfers, and then go down to Vancouver. I go to my dispensary. I get my set ready at the lounge for a couple hours, and then alright, I really gotta go. Yo, thanks so much, Gatekeeper, for dropping in. Shout out to him and go give him a follow on his YouTube channel and on his Twitter account and wherever he is. I don't know if he's going to be doing a Patreon page, but if he does, I'll definitely sign up for it. Yeah, so shout out to him, big man. Yeah, and have a great day as well to him. I know he's got to get going. But yeah, this protein shake, it's like fucking thick as hell still. Yeah, it's like a big block of ice. All right. Well, that was a total failure. It's all over my nose and everything. Yeah. Got some new stuff I'm going to be testing out on stage tonight. I'm going to be talking about stuff that's been happening at the gym lately. No Patreon. Don't really have the time or the following yet to do one. Again, cheers. Oh, well, cheers to you, buddy. All right, well, then we'll make sure we'll give as many plugs as you as possible, and we'll find some butt plugs that we'll put in some pictures in that for you. But yeah, man, my fucking hosting is terrible sometimes. Same with the slurping. That's like probably fucking really annoying for people on the other end. Yeah, so my new material I'm testing out, I'm not going to be telling on here because you guys are paying $1. If you guys want to hear my material, you got to upgrade and hear $5. But yeah, that's what's going on today. Is I'm going to be in Vancouver testing a set. My career is still in jeopardy right now because as of October 31st, I will no longer be able to get a ride back from Vancouver. So we'll find out what's going on with the bus routes and that. Fuck off, Greyhound. Why'd you have like 40% decline? The fucking gas prices are ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and do as best as I can tonight with this set. Make sure it's all recorded in one. What else? And then I come back, hopefully on the Greyhound. Won't be back till 3 in the morning. So I might be able to do something free if anybody's online or something like that. But it's gonna be a busy day for me, ladies and gentlemen. So what I should probably get at or to it. What time is it right now? It's 8:30. It's coming up to that time where I gotta go to the gym for about 3 hours, and then by noon I'll maybe head down the bus to Vancouver. I did renew my gym membership for 3 months. So August, September, October, I can go to the gym for 3 months straight. I paid $140 because I do know I think I'm starting to get in better shape now. I think what I've been doing the last month, if you guys have been following me ever since episode 1 of this podcast, it's had its ups and downs, but it's mostly been ups right now this month for me personally. I've been taking time off away from sets. Haven't done too many sets this month because they haven't been too good. It's been good for me to take time off and just work on myself for a bit rather than doing stand-up. So, yeah. That's what's going on right now. Is tonight I'm doing a set. I got some new stuff to tell on stage, and that's it. If anybody wants to see the set, it's going to be available on Patreon for $5 Patreon members. And I want to thank my special guest today, Gatekeeper Drew from the Drailed podcast, for joining me on the Morning Glory podcast for episode 20. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to the Morning Glory podcast, and we'll see you next time, which is tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.